I remember the days of Lich Morphling mid. That was some
Oh,
that was some disgusting stuff, man.
with
It
the
was
tiny
the
eye on the other side as well.
the tiny wisp mid.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that was
Pulling the
something. That was
creeps.
also.
Oh,
I mean, that was just dumb. And then there was also. I mean, the thing about the Lich back in the day, right? The Dark Ritual was just like you sacrificed a creep to get mana.
yep. I
That that
remember.
that Lich. I remember both like the Lich Enigma 2, where you just denied like pretty much a full wave.
There was Undying Quap as well. That was another popular one. Just decay, and then they more or less die to the dots from Quap.
Yeah, so I quite like what like I like the ideas of both of these teams. I think right now I kind of like what Mudgolems are at with this Batrider pick here. I also know that this is one of Neta 33's favorite heroes, and it is a pretty good Batrider game. There are no real kind of counters. There's nothing to really stop you from doing bad things. Trolls turn rate is pretty bad. Doom's turn rate quite awful. Same with Warlock and even Void Spirit too. So definitely they can struggle against the sticky here. And that can buy some time for the anti-mage. I think Enchantress, Tiny, and Batrider together, they can play the game quite well and buy a lot of space for anti-mage. We're just gonna see how these two teams tie it up.
Yeah, right now, obviously, there's going to be some questions on who goes where, right? Like you said, 33 likes this Bat Rider. Is it going to be the out lanes? Could they run it in the mid? We usually see that matchup. Is where the Void Spirit tries to play the mid. Like, I'm kind of
Right.
intrigued to see where these lanes are going to land right now.
As
And
am I, KP. As am I.
we just kind of sit back in our chairs. Who needs an else, guys? We're literally just going to let the draft explain itself because it's a long day. Just messing with. What are we missing on each side? Because right now, like mudgolems have a lot of split push. No easy way I want to say to commit to towers though. Is that okay in its current state?
Yeah, I feel like this. I mean, from what I've seen, so much like there hasn't been so much of this tower pushing early on. You can just kind of chill around. You can push some towers with Enchantress, right? You get some creeps. You push with the catapult. And you also just run over people with numbers, I think. And I think Tiny Enchantress, Batrider, plus whatever last big hero can just they can play very well as four together and play this 4 protect 1 with anti-mage just farming. The one thing about this anti-mage versus troll matchup is it can be pretty spooky throughout the game. Unless you're quite far ahead as anti-mage, just because of how troll works versus anti-mage. The If you get an MKB and or a basher on troll, I mean always very difficult for anti-mage to man fight you.
Yeah, but that's where the bat rider fact comes in, right? Like if you can shut down the troll in the lane and AM is relatively uncontested, you can build that crucial lead.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's see where these picks are gonna go.
Brood
Like,
ban by mudgolems. They
yeah,
don't want to get cheesed. This is something that I was kind of saying. Yes, they have the tiny, but they don't want to put him in that mid lane. It seems they want to keep him as a 4.
is it
And
me or does this look like a reasonable like Meepo game? Because that's something you have to consider from 5 men.
it definitely does look like, to me, it looks like a big Meepo game. But I feel like, is it 5 men? I feel like 5 men have the. Okay, 5 men actually have the last pick. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's spooky. That's very spooky.
So how do you cover this going into that final phase of your mud golems?
Yeah, you need to have it in mind for sure. You need to be considering the fact that this Meepo could come, and so your last hero has to kind of cover that to some extent, I think, unless Meepo is just completely dead.
Might find out very quickly here. The run out time on mud golems only 4 seconds of reserve time. Okay, Selena.
Okay, Lina. Yeah, and so this becomes. I mean, Meepo is not terrible against Lina in the game. It's just the lane can be a little bit rough, and so if Lina gets too far ahead early on, then it can be annoying. And this also seems like one of these Orania heroes that he likes to play. So
And they're keeping it flexible right now. Like, you could see these lanes shifting. For example, the back could still go in the mid. The Lena, could fall back
theoretically,
in.
yes. Although I feel like most likely we're just gonna see the Bat Tiny, the Enchantress Anti-Mage on the mid Lina.
Yes.
I would be surprised if they switch that up, but it could happen definitely.
Whereas 5 men, like, they have some flexibility, but some roles are a little bit more assured. Like, you should see this Troll of 1, the Doom
Yeah, I mean,
in the
like let's
3.
say let's say there's a TA now, maybe then
Yeah.
they put the Batrider mid.
It's actually a Legion.
Okay.
So,
So it's gonna be just like maybe it's just a Legion
yeah.
against the Batrider then, and they're just gonna put the troll in the mid lane. Might be what they're thinking. No, actually, it looks like it's gonna be just a mid Void Spirit against the Lina, and the Legion is just gonna go together with the Doom. I'm guessing here
Mm.
against
No.
Anti-Mage. I don't know. I don't know. A little bit strange. I mean, of course, it's very nice to have this Legion against the Bat Rider. You can remove the lasso. You can remove stickies. You know, of course, you're quite good against Bat Rider overall in the game. But yeah, I'm just. I mean, this also opens up. Theoretically, they could put Anti-Mage mid against Void Spirit. I doubt that we're gonna see a side lane Lina. I feel like Brenia is not really that type of player who would go to a side lane. I feel like he's a strictly mid type of player, but
That's the kind of
we'll
thing that
see.
like I'm kind of rattling my brain over because like Voice Spirit versus Lena, it's decent for Jesse, and as soon as you get 6, there is actually kill potential on the Lena. Uh,
Yeah, they just don't have amazing heroes to rotate. That's the
no.
thing. This I want to say C9 lineup, but uh,
There's 2 boys making that impossible for you. Okay,
two C9, three C9s, and two OGs.
let's just combine the 2. They can be Cog 9.
Cog 9 or O9 C, C no Cog
I mean,
or
technically
just
they can
Cog.
actually be Cogs, right? Because they've
Yeah.
got OG.S. We figured it out.
Cog.
All right, so Cogs coming at you. 5 men. Who cares about that name? I'm sorry,
I mean,
boys.
if you say that a bit too quickly, just Cogs coming at you,
Yep.
then I mean,
Cogs everywhere.
there's some room for misinterpretation.
Cogs, cogs, cogs. Just kidding. There's no
Cog
block work
champ.
in this game. There you go. They just get their own Twitch page. They'll take turns streaming on it. Cog champ will be their first emote. You're hired. You're now their CEO. Go back. Completely new draft because we completely invalidated that. There was a technical issue. There's a rule on Article 5.63 that says I'm lying to you. We have the same draft but different player as Skitter. Poor little Skitter has stepped down and has been replaced by 9.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a bit of a switch up here for 5 men here. Now, not for 5 men.
Nope,
Sorry,
nope.
for
You were
mud
close.
golems.
Yeah, you were
I was
50%.
close, and we're gonna see once again. Here's this Ring of Region build on the anti mage.
What was it was a void last time, right?
Mm-hmm.
AM, you can maybe kind of see it a bit more, maybe, I want to say. Like, you're going to get pressured a bit at the start.
Yeah, I mean the initial lane didn't look so hot for that void, but he recovered. I'm not sure if that was thanks to the rings though, but we will see how this pans out.
Mm-hmm.
And it does look like there's gonna be a smoke here. Tiny looking to toss
Gets
away.
him. He had to level dissimulate. And he's still going to die. Okay, that is a rough start for the Void Spirit.
That's tough.
I
Definitely tough.
don't think it's on the same level as a Rubik having to level lift, but it's not far off, actually.
It's definitely not. I mean, he can pull the wave back a little bit and use to simulate you. Maybe you can get a creep with it, a range creep or whatever, and once you get your 2, you should be okay. Of course, it's gonna hurt you a bit, but
Yeah,
yeah, it's
it
not
could hurt
Rubik
you a lot,
with
right?
lift.
Because like
It
Baranya
definitely
could,
could.
like the thing I'd think about in this lane especially is Light Strike Array, right? If you get forced to dissimulate for the range creep, you're very predictable, and then Lena just Light Strike Arrays you.
Right. Yeah. No, it could definitely happen. We're gonna see here. It looks like they're gonna be some switch up in the lane. So there's gonna be a troll and a warlock going top, but now mud golems have realized this, so they're gonna send their bat rider to go top, and it's gonna be bat rider enchantress up top versus warlock troll, and in the bottom lane we're gonna have tiny anti mage against legion doom. So a big melee brawl lane down here, and anti mage is just very uncertain of where to go right now.
Like, can I junk? Oh wait, no, I'm not a TB. I can't jungle yet.
Yeah, not just yet, buddy. Not just yet.
Soon. Wait, yep, they ping it out. They had the deep wards. They like Legion's rotating again. I don't know if you want to keep following though.
I mean, I feel like the anti-mage has to go to a lane now, and he kind of has to commit soon because he can't just keep running around forever. He wants to find a home where he can get some creeps, and you see this the Void Spirit here, it looks like he's done just fine for himself. He's at 6 CS. He got his level 2 now, so he's got the Resonant Pulse, and yeah, he seems to have survived the initial there, early wave.
I'm just watching this really awkward move. It's always sad when you watch these slow-moving carries try and make the shuffle to a different lane. All right, so the true winners of this in the end is, of course, the POS4s. Misery and Milan have just been sitting here hitting creeps. Ah, the good life.
Oh, the good life.
It's not like the early situation when Chelsea's doing alright, but Rania is catching up and has surpassed him in CS now. I feel this is somewhat expected until around like level 5 though.
Yeah, I mean you're not really gonna beat the Lina in the lane, right? You can potentially go for some rotations later on and try to kill the Lina, but actual laning, I think Lina should be favored in this lane.
Okay, this shuffle is just getting awkward now. Here comes 33. Like, don't mind me, buddy. Just coming on through.
All game long they're shuffling.
Like, it's kind of, we've reached that point. You remember when they first made the change around TPs, and what happened was like people would just instantly start TPing back and forth constantly. Like you'd see lane shuffles 6 or 7 times at the start of games.
Yeah, I mean just staying on top of the Turblade. Yeah, I mean it's kind of similar treatment the Anti-Mage is getting now, and you can see like if you look at the bottom of the CS chart, you're gonna see who.
The support Anti-Mage, yeah. That's it's a rough one, but I'm glad they
he just doubled the CS.
Oh, look at that. He has surpassed 3 heroes. Troll definitely doing a lot better though. 11-5 already on Ace, and Milan, you know, he wasn't able to stand up in their face and get as many CS as soon as the Troll arrived. I'm really quiet feeling about this start, actually. It is probably just the fact they've been dancing back and forth across the map for a few minutes now. As they're going to
Yeah, I mean there hasn't actually been that much laning or Dota being played. It's just people running from lane to lane.
Yeah, it's just looking at mid and going, oh, nice, look, yeah, Brandy's got a slight lead now. Oh, Chetty's recovered from having a level to simulate. And then he's like, so what's going on elsewhere? Oh, they're running again. They're running again.
Yeah, and in the end, it does look like not C9, but 5 men got the lanes that they wanted. However, there is a rotation here from Milan, and once these creeps die, we might see some sort of avalanche toss onto the tower here.
They're converging. Ace knows he's in trouble now. Toss back under the tower. But the avalanche as well, as Milan did get that level 3 quickly, they will be able to bring him down.
Very nice rotation there by Milan, and smart play there. Getting that toss onto the tower, holding the avalanche. Just making sure that he dies there.
And you need to be careful with this Tiny, right? Like, you got some early CS. He's now getting involved in kills already. And we've seen too often how those stories end.
Yeah, I mean, this position for Tiny has looked quite scary in a lot of games.
And it has so many combos, right? Like, you can think of Darkseer is one of the scary ones we've seen. It's good with the Bat Ride as well, right? Like, you can toss him in so you can lasso.
Yeah, and Ace is just gonna have to run top now. However, like, if you look at Misery, though, he's already at 14 CS. And he's actually ahead of his Legion and ahead of his Troll. In fact, he's only slightly behind the mid Void Spirit, so he's been making this Devour work for himself.
Maybe it's just,
However,
maybe we're wrong and this was just a support Legion all along.
It might be. Or a support Troll, because right now he is the position 4 in his team.
He's looking a bit rough.
However, I mean, so the Legion is... So, yeah, okay, the Legion was suffering quite a lot there when the Doom was just sitting and farming, that's why. But the Bat Rider now is going to find his footing, I think. And the thing is, he doesn't need that many heroes in his lane. Like, he can kind of sustain on his own, I think.
Yeah,
and
which frees
so
up
yeah, it's just going to be tri-lane on tri-lane, and this should definitely favor the 5 men here, because Anti-Mage, he really hates participating in tri-lanes. It's like the worst thing.
And then it's just going to force him to, though, as they just toss him on the tower. Problem is there was creep, so Misery doesn't care, and he already has the level to devour with the pack leader's aura.
Yeah, and he's queuing up some drums. I mean, it's going to be a... he's still just... he's up there in terms of net worth.
I mean, that's Tranks already, and most of the components of drums already bought. What if I told you 5-men's strategy was to have 2 offlaners this game?
Yeah, four cores.
5 men, 4 cores. Slow the countdown. Mid lane, Chessie. Similar way. He's got the Astral Step, so there's no real kill for them. Good that they force him to use it defensively, though. Like, you almost always see, as soon as a voice spirit hits 6, he tries to kill his opponent in lane. Might still do that, though. Besides against it, there's too many creeps here to hit. Who are we favoring if things stay like this, by the way? Like, if this is a
things
status
stay like
quo.
this. Right now, I would probably favor 5 men just from the fact that the anti-mage doesn't seem to be having a very good time, and Doom, Legion, and Troll are all quite happy. And I mean, you look at the top, like 4 of the top 5 heroes are all not anti-mage. I mean, you see, right? They're 5 men are doing well in terms of laning and in terms of what they're getting out of these lanes.
That was something we kind of hit on in the draft, right? Is like if an anti-mage and a troll warlord, or even in net worth, you favor the troll. So all you really has to do is kind of match the pace of the anti-mage in this game.
If an anti-mage and a troll warlord walk into a bar, what happens?
I feel like the troll's gonna get thrown out for getting too angry and just breaking the bar.
Yeah, no, that sounds fairly reasonable.
I mean, anti-mage, like, he's obsessed with creeps, right? So, like, are you bothered that he's obsessed with the creeps in your bar? Because they're creeps.
Oh, yeah, okay. I mean, you put it like that.
The deep thoughts late in the day. This is definitely the weirdest game so far, though. It's just like... It's almost as if they're just creating new lanes in different locations right now.
Yeah, and still, it's just like... I think 5 men are kind of happy with this. They're getting quite a bit of farm. I mean, the Tiny now hasn't really done anything in the past few minutes here. Where the Doom is kind of just getting some levels and getting some farm, so... He's gonna be able to afford those drums very soon. As soon as this Devour gets finished. He's also level 5. Quite a lot of levels on these supports.
Yep. Once he's finished that mastication, they'll be ready to just mash on in to this anti-base lane and kind of, well, I'd say force him out, but that would suggest he's not already in the jungle.
Yes.
He has
But
got
he
plenty
did,
of
however,
regen,
find
though.
the Iron Talon, and he has
Oh.
the Ring of Health and the 2 Rings of Regen, so sitting comfortably at 13 regen per second. He should not be forced out of, you know, like, jungling should not be an issue for him at this point. And now it's just, you know, how fast can you get to Battle Fury?
There's kind of also that question, like, who can really sit in this lane? Because you don't want it to go to waste, right? But it feels like anyone who shows up here is kind of fair game for the members of 5 men.
Yeah, I think you're kind of happy, but just put your Tiny up there, or, you know, the Inch can support the Tiny, and the 2 of them can just stay up there against this tri-lane. I think you'd be happy with this. Bat Rider is getting chased down in the bottom lane by Chessie here. There's gonna be a Remnant pulling the Bat Rider.
And he's definitely
And
done
this
so.
should be a Doom dead Bat Rider, and it's gonna be the first dual win of the game. As Xebe just claims that and forwards back to the bottom lane.
And Chessie's like, well, I was thinking about going back, just quickly regen up, pick up some new pieces of gear. Works out ideally for him. Interesting. I feel like I'm seeing less phase boots on Voice Spirit compared to like a month or so ago.
Yeah, people are just kind of skipping the upgraded boots and just rushing whatever item they're going for.
Yeah, I mean, yours is just so powerful in this hero, right? Defensively or offensively. I can't think of many, if any, hero that has that same level of kind of variable use.
Yeah, we see here Anti-Mage just kind of jungling versus the Ancients. And he's kind of fine with it because of all of the regen that he has now. He's not getting too low.
No. But he's not really gaining net worth at the speed that you'd like to see at this stage in the game. You can already see that when you like compare the two. Like, AC is keeping up, but I'd expect in like the next 2-3 minutes before the Battle Fury is even there for 9, like you should see the Troll move ahead.
Yeah, he might move ahead a little bit. I mean, I think this Iron Talon is keeping him fair game. Right, in the running, in contention there. So it looks like Chessie actually chose to crush the Axe here instead.
Oh.
He has a haste rune now, he's smoked up, and it looks like he's going towards this top lane.
No surprise, right? Like the tower's down to half HP. They even glyph to try and keep the catapult alive, and they are bringing the heroes in now. I imagine Milan right now, like the senses are tingling. Something has to be coming. And the person who's going to tank it is Farda. They're going to bring him low. Chessie chases forward, gets him with the cut through from the astral step, and hasn't even wasted the haste. Instead, he's going to use that for bot, as he did use both his steps. Misery, Laguna doesn't kill him off. The Dragon Slave through is good enough. Zibe's being chased on too to simulate, try and nuke down from the Chessie, but it's not going to be enough to deter them. They will kill off 2 in the bot lane as 5 men have to retreat.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, even though he comes there, it's kind of already too late. They managed to pick both of those, both the Legion and the Doom off, and then even though it's a hasted Void Spirit, if you're alone, you still can't do that much. And 9 actually manages to get this mid tower in the meantime, and I think you're very, very happy with this as an anti-mage.
Yeah, that's kind of unusual, right? Because I think the catapult had gone down as well, but he already had enough pressure on there that he felt comfortable to sit there and click it.
Yeah, with so many heroes on the map just showing, then you're kind of fine with it. I'm kind of looking for 5 men to find a place to use this, the rock, the chaotic offering, and also maybe throw out the doom. As Misery might get chased here, he's gonna be fine.
It's pretty deep, but they're not going to bite. 33. Is he going for the drums? Yes. My man. I feel like we had this discussion before, right? Like, I don't think either is a big fan of boots for travel, Rush.
No, that's also I feel like that's the mid bat rider though, that we've seen it on a lot, and also those struggling bat riders. I mean, it can definitely be good, of course. I think this was something I talked to Zai about, where this BOT build is quite good. It's just the fact that if you're falling behind as a bat rider, probably something already went wrong in your game.
So. Oh, Pilot die. Trying to throw down the rock, and he gets enough time, courtesy of Chessie throwing out the stun. Baranya is able to Laguna 1 down, but will die afterwards. No, chase forward looking for more. Farda, not a kill for them, though, as soon as he puts out the Nature's Attendant.
Yeah, I'm curious. They could have maybe just committed a duel there, and maybe not gotten the actual duel damage, but they probably could have killed the Enchantress there.
I think that's maybe one of those moments where you're thinking about the dual damage more than the fact that it's a good stun. It's kind of like a primal roar. Admittedly, I can't remember who it was. It might have been Zaya that once like said it's like primal roar, but you're also roaring yourself.
Right. It's an interesting take.
It was kind of like at the time the question was around like why is Legion not being picked and why is Beastmaster being picked so much?
Right.
And it's like the comparison is like, well, I mean, they're doing similar things, but
just one hero also roars himself.
Pretty much.
Instead of just the enemy. Yeah. So we are seeing still like 5 men. They're still ahead in terms of net worth, and largely thanks to this Doom just being so far ahead of his counterpart, the Tiny.
Yeah, and we kind of expected that inherently, right? Doom is just devour, just level devour, kind of become a core yourself. Whereas the thing that makes Tiny so powerful is if you have these gank and spank opportunities. And to be fair to Mudgolems, they have heroes that can allow for that, right? With the Bat Rider, with the Lina.
Yeah, and also we can see here that Anti-Mage is creeping closer to this Battle Fury already with the wand of the treads, the double rings of Regen. He could probably, I mean, I don't know if you look to sell these just to get your Battle Fury faster, but...
See it? Found the last 2 on the bot lane. Dragon Legion away from safety. The follow-up stuns are enough to bring him down because Baranya did invest in the boots of travel.
Yeah, Chessie though, I think he has actually the Ags completed on the curve. Just looking to get that flown out. Turning Canadian there for a second.
What's that all about?
I don't know. But yeah, Ags now already on the Void Spirit here at 15 minutes in.
Can I just get that I don't know again?
No.
No. We comment on my
That's
Russian
a one time.
Was that Luna or was that a Canadian? I can't tell.
I don't know, okay? I don't know. Sometimes things work out, sometimes they don't.
Stick to selling mayonnaise.
Yeah, no, definitely. I love selling mayonnaise. It's my jam.
All right, so the good thing, though, in kind of comparison to this Ags that you mentioned, which is a really good time for Chessie, is Baranya did make it to his yours as well. So it's not like you can instantly kill off the Lina per se.
Yeah, however, we have seen how this buying Yules versus Void Spirit can work out. Not just in your favor, but also in the favor of the... Yeah. Can definitely be spooky.
Okay, but
Spooky,
here's the
spooky.
play. He jumps in, he silences you use him and run away. We figured it out.
He jumps in, silence. Yeah, okay, I get it. You use him and run away. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. If he
Because
doesn't have the, extended reach, then sure.
it's also a case like
That's a
it's
play.
not a long like silence, right? Although Chessie, in fairness, like the easiest combo to pull off. Here's one for you people who are failing Void Spirit at home. Cut through your target with Astral Step, then immediately put an A for Remnant because they can't move. Look at that.
Genius.
Wow.
Du-du-du-du-du.
It's almost like they designed this hero with that in mind.
It's almost like you should be playing professional Dota 2 and just owning nukes.
But, I mean, what can I say? I don't know if I would have hit that Remnant, but Chessie didn't, and that's all I'm going to say about it.
So we do have now a blink on the Legion Commander. I think there's a blink even on the Doom now with that drum, so Misery keeping up pretty much same net worth as the Legion Commander. However, there is a Battle Fury Anti-Mage.
It's time to do farm. Sorry, it didn't work out. There is going to be a Battle Fury on Ace as well, though. I think it's actually flying out as we speak. Yep. So similar timings. He's looking to mirror and keep up with the Anti-Mage. Of course, Anti-Mage has the advantage of having a built-in blink, so expect him to have a slight lead, but not as substantial as he maybe would have hoped.
Yeah, and also the Imp Claw kind of does make it so that even if the Anti-Mage is kind of far ahead, you can always man-fight him. The one thing, though, is personally, I am definitely not a fan of Battle Fury on Troll in general. I feel like you're not using the hero to its potential. Kind of, you're trying to play him as a proper position 1, but this hero he's a 1.5 or a 2. This hero doesn't, unless you have a Magnus on your team, I think then you can play the fast game, but I feel like this hero plays better off of tempo than he does off of farm, because he caps out kind of early on in slots.
Do you think, would you put it in the same category as like Ursa? Right?
No, not entirely. To some extent, I mean they're related, but not really the same category as Ursa. I think Troll still scales better than Ursa to some extent, but
But it's that kind of brawler
he
mentality, right? Like you build items to
yeah,
kind of fight earlier.
the hero enjoys playing kind of high tempo and getting ahead and bullying people.
Yeah, and you already have, a decent way to kind of accelerate your farm with the Whirling Axes, right? Like the damage output on camps kind of gets you halfway through clearing it already.
Yeah, exactly. Once you get to 15 and you go for the Whirling Axis damage, you can pretty much just clear any camp you want all the time. And I'm surprised he actually went for, maybe he gave the Imp Claw. Yeah, he gave away the Imp Claw to Void Spirit, so okay, that makes sense then. He's keeping the Keela and the Vampire Fangs instead.
And of course, that Void Spirit is going to be going for his own boost of travel. Just looking to mirror whatever Baranya's doing across the map. We already kind of commented on, this Yule situation with Baranya. If he gets silenced, what does he do? If he Yules himself, he's going to get hit by the Remnant. So just that kind of mirror movement. We're already seeing it with the Battle Furies and the Post 1s, but we're going to see it with like the mobility factor in the Post 2s. And I'd give the comparison with the Post 3s, but it's really difficult to decide which one I choose from the side of 5 men.
Right. I mean, to be fair, they're going somewhat similar builds, right?
Yeah. And then on the other side, oh, look at that. Drums and a Blink Dagger. We really are just trying to mirror match each other in this game.
What do you know?
Wow. Of course.
The difference here being, of course, the Warlock and the Enchantress. The massive difference here. Treads versus Shadow Amulet. One is ready to hide. The other is ready to brawl.
Yeah, Pylai Dai, he's spent months training on the hills, learning the arts of Chappie. Trying to perfect what he done and take it a step further into activity in games. And that's going to be an easy one. Just upheaval people, Shadow Amulet, then chuckle to yourself. Not many of these heroes have a way of getting out either, right? Like, the build Lena's gone, she's going to get stuck. The Tiny, if he gets caught on the in, like you're just stuck together.
Yeah, I mean, we have this blink on Tiny, right? So yeah, we might see some aggression coming out here from the mudgolems, man. It's so annoying, I think, these teams, that they have these stupid tags before their names. It's so confusing. It's like, are they C9? Are they OG? No, they're 5 men. Okay.
Yeah, and it's like the clarification point, right? Like, my favorite one is when someone has a different name in the game than their official name. It's like, so do
Hmm.
you call them by their official name or
Yeah.
what you see? Because it's going to
Yeah, I
confuse
feel like,
everyone at home.
do you think though that like if you have to call yourself 5 men, is that really like a, you know, like it's the idea of like if you have to call yourself the king, are you really the king? You know what I mean?
I'm pretty sure they're men. I'm not willing to check on that, but
Hmm.
I believe they might count as men. Tiny.
No, I mean like yeah, I get the fact that they're like they might be sneaky deny there by 33.
Not really the hero renowned for successfully denying heroes. 33 proves us wrong on that.
And this Roche is very, 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 and two more very, very slow for emphasis there.
Sorry, I fell
Uh,
asleep in the middle of the berries.
but it is looking like they are going to get this done. However, it gets scouted out, and now this could become quite scary.
Uh-oh. Yes, that moment where you don't want to be pushed out of the pit because your very, very slow Roche gets even slower. And Tiny has enough time to come back to this fight. He's TPing him right now. But they jump the people who are waiting. The Duel's going to come out straight on at 33. They're on top, and the rock gets dropped. And they're stuck here together. Backrider's going to be brought down. Milan should also be falling here as they'll just try and run him through. Control's still in the pit. Ace picks up the Aegis. And all that while, I mean, Baranya didn't even bother to show up. He was bot pushing a tier 2.
Yeah, and Antigen was just farming, so I think that's completely fine. I think it's completely okay if you're mud golems. You got a lot of farm on your anti-mage and you got a lot of farm on your Lina. I think you can play the split push game for quite a while here. The anti-mage, he doesn't want to fight anyways right now. He wants to get at least one, if not two more items before he starts joining these engagements, and maybe they can get a kill here onto Chessie.
Maybe.
That would be
Yours?
something.
LSA is there, but it's slightly off the mark.
Yeah, I think that has to be like almost like frame perfect. I think if you're gonna be able to not dodge that spell.
Yeah, Dissimilate, it does have a slight animation, but I think they buffed it at one point compared to when it was first released, so it's even easier to get it off now.
Yeah, and it's gonna be the anti-mage is gonna have his mantle completed. Flying out to him right now, and let's see what he goes for next here.
Jump in, Avalanche toss to bring down that Aegis. They make it look so easy. It's one life down, 33's ready with the last two to blink in though. The Glimmer Cake stops him in his tracks.
Yeah, it's also the fact that there's a Legion just waiting there, and
And a Doom.
he's just gonna use press the attack, and so they don't want to commit too much.
Yeah, it's also Doom waiting to just initiate as he'll go in here, but they just can't commit too much to bring down an Enchantress. Luckily, they have got their Voice Spirit there to make it look easy.
Yeah, they don't have to commit too much. However, they have this anti-mage just farming. So this is not really the end of the world. I would like to see 9 kind of... I mean, it's scary because you're up against a Doom with a Blink, right? And a Stomp, so that's why he's not playing as aggressively as he would maybe like. But you kind of want to see the anti-mage take advantage of the fact that there are a lot of heroes showing on the map and just farm as much of the map as you possibly can.
Also, I think, is Nine playing from America?
I'm not sure. Maybe he is.
Because that might be something that comes in it, right? Like, you could imagine these cool Manta dodges, but if you've got like 90 or 100 plus...
But I mean, he is
thing-
from Germany, right? So...
Yeah, you're right. But like, he plays with business associates. So I
Oh, he
wasn't
still does.
Well, he's got business in his name. Actually, I don't know if he does, because they had another show.
Because you see C9, I mean, Misery, Ace, and Pilot I have C9, and Sibin,
And you
Chessie
just
have
don't
OG,
know
but
if
they're
you
not
can
in the...
trust any of them anymore, right?
That's the thing. That's why I'm saying they have all these stupid tags, but I
Oh,
don't know what to believe anymore.
Nine has been inactive since just around the start of May, I believe.
Yeah, see, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Yeah, I got mixed up because obviously, I think business associates just had another shuffle because I believe Moo and Fear want to take a break. So now,
right.
like, the business associates are free plus 2 more, and they've just changed names again. I can't remember what they chose.
Right.
You can find that info out by watching the BTS Pro Series NA region.
Nice.
Got the NA boys.
Yeah, we have this, like, I feel like this is where you as anti-mage, you need to be pushing these lanes, because you have this Bat Rider waiting down here, and he wants to find someone, but no one is gonna come and threaten this anti-mage if the anti-mage is not showing. So I feel like 9 should just be down here with the Batrider and pushing this lane into the tower there. And even if a hero comes and tries to catch you, you always have this Batrider to kind of just bail you out by using Lasso, and then you're buying a lot of time.
But what if you get doomed?
Then you just run, and the Batrider bails you out. He presses drums, he grabs the Doom, and then you run. And then Doom is gone.
Thank God. I was worried about that doom for a second, but you calmed me down.
Yeah. It's that easy. Easy as pie.
Maybe for you. He's moving there now, though. Like, it's just... I feel like you're right in that all I've seen so far is either 33 or it's Baranya that have been shoving this wave in. It's never the anti-mage. It does seem like he's maybe a little bit overly paranoid. But can you ever really be too paranoid?
Yeah. You definitely can.
I mean, how would I know?
I mean, if you're too paranoid, you wouldn't. That is the catch.
That's the vicious cycle right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can see it from now. He's like, no, Mantis can do this. I'm not getting any closer. That's Danger Town right there. This is definitely our, like, least brawly game, though. We're 26 minutes in, just about to hit that, and only 14 kills on the board.
Yeah, I mean, this is sort of a farm fest so far. Not too much action going on. Just kind of waiting for the troll and the anti-mage to say, guys, I'm ready. Let's go. Let's do this. Yeah, I mean, we've seen like 5 men. They're kind of taking out most of the towers here. There are only 2 remaining outer towers. They're kind of just trying to take over the map. You can see like they're slightly up on gold. A lot of that is the Doom, right? Being like so much far ahead of Tiny. But, you know, it's hard to say how much of that net worth is actually true and how much is kind of false net worth or whatever you want to call it. You know, it is tied up into this Doom with his Devour, so.
That's true, but Doom is a hero that uses gold well, right? Like, you know, this has always been kind of one of your kings of late games. I feel like less so ever since status resistance got introduced as a concept.
Definitely. Yeah, status resistance was kind of a big blow to Doom, I think.
Still a hero that can have some relevance, though. I'm kind of curious what it's going to take for us to reach a point where Ags is viable. Fight would be viable, and we will be able to find one. Misery, BKB does nothing. And Zibe, he wants to duel someone, but no chance in hell. Reinforcements arrive now, and you don't want to do that duel anymore because it might work against you. They're going to bring Zibe low and kill him off. Rock does get dropped. Rania should be the first one to go down on the side of Mudgolems. Fada quick to follow as Ace does arrive, and Treeline 33 trying for a bold TP away will fail. But not before they kill another hero.
Yeah, so a 3 for 3 there. However, who's farming?
There? Oh, is it anti-mage? I think it is.
It's anti-mage.
It's Andy Mage. I don't think he's going to stop pushing either. It's like, oh.
No, he took out the tier 1. I feel like this is where you... I mean, I think
you get paranoid
this is just
now.
way too scared of the anti-mage. I mean, he could at least linger for a little bit there and
it's the
deal
Doom,
some damage
though,
to
right?
the tower. But
like, Misery's
yeah, I
back
mean,
up,
you saw the
though.
timer on the Doom, but whatever. He doesn't want to waste too much time, so...
It's always the Crocs anti-mage players, like, time, there's never enough time. If I'm not hitting creeps, I've done something wrong, back to the jungle. And I guess, like, these guys have been kind of happy campers. They'll do a little bit here or there, but they're happy to hit creeps. When, like, if you were playing Troll or the anti-mage in this game, when is the point where you get bored of hitting creeps?
Bored?
You're like,
That's
you
the
know,
wrong
I just want to
question.
kill people.
I think come Abyssal, I think as anti-mage you start looking to get active in the game. I mean, he's only participated in 1 assist so far, but I think that's when you start looking to really join the game.
By the way, can I just point out that you said I'm mean to POS 1 players. I say all they want to do is hit creeps. And when I give you an easy way out, you're like, bored of hitting creeps? When does that happen?
I mean, being bored and actually, like, deciding to stop hitting creeps anyways, those are 2 different things, right?
So you never truly get bored of hitting creeps?
No, I don't think so.
Is it the sound of money?
Okay, so No, actually, I don't actually get bored. Even when I'm like, even if you're 7 slotted, you can just like, you can theory craft. How can I use my cur? How can I use items? So
Oh no,
I
'cause
don't know. You just don't get tired.
didn't they? I can't remember. They took that way.
And Void Spirit is
Oh,
going to get
oh.
blown up.
They took his life away. Jeez. I think a message is being sent. There's like, right now, this is just dividing East and West Berlin. You can have this half. We'll have this half. And anyone who intrudes on the other side will be shot on sight.
Yeah, there's gonna be a smoke up here by the Batrider
They're
and also
intruding.
by the Tiny. Roche is
Tiny's very
alive.
far behind, though.
He's lagging a little bit, but this is a team without their Void Spirit right now, so
Is he lagging
it's
more or less
pretty
than Skidder, though?
quite probably less.
Oh, Misery, no. He is able to get the BKB out, but once again, he's just melting here. He's trying to stun him up good enough. The ult's going to come out from Lina to dodge out that initial stun from the Rock and is able to walk away. The ult under the Troll will give them that break freeze time to actually just back up and away from the mean, mad member of 5 men.
Milan just tossing out the
Oh,
Lina there and then just jumping out. Quite nice.
I love seeing Bodyguard Tiny.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's kind of in the opposite direction of like, you know, if I use the 4-star comparison, but it's like, you know, when you see someone use an aggressive 4-star, like, that was
Yeah,
a
but
good
did you
taste.
see the movie Bodyguard?
Yes.
With, is it Whitney Houston? And is it the Kevin Costner maybe? I feel like it might be. I mean, not the new one, the old one.
That's why I was like, well, because there's a TV series, right?
No. I'm talking about
And
the
then the
old movie. The
movie.
one. Yeah, it's Kevin Costner and Whitney Houston. It's the. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if it was Kevin Costner. 'Cause obviously, he was kind of on his way out at that point. Waterworld was not well received. Bardo? 5 men will happily receive this kill.
Ace killing his former teammate there.
Oh, duel doesn't work out for 33. It just drags Zube off the high ground. That means that he's not going to be stuck up there. So they just run through another hero. They did lose the Void Spirit again, though. The problem now, though, is that the mid on the side of mudgolems is a little bit out of place. I don't know if that tosses to save the day, really. It does get him far enough away, though. Pylite died going down to 9 in the meantime. The Doom was reflected on the Misery as well, so he's kind of stuck looking stupid right now, as 9 will re-engage on top and kill him off. And Ace has just been kited this entire time. They're saving the Aegis until last. They get rid of Zube, and now they can just poke and prod. They're like, I dare you to press that button. The moment you battle trance, you're finished here, sir. Down once. He's downright dead twice when he comes back up. The LSA is
What
winning.
is your play here? Is
You get very sad.
That would have been a rampage if it had been a little bit faster, but yeah, I mean, 9 getting the job done here.
It's kind of awkward when you look at the gold exchange as well, right? It's like, there's still a lead somehow for 5 men. But once again, that's Misery right there. It's all that gold.
Yeah, and you could see that, like, the Doom, you know, I mean, now he actually ended up dooming himself. And just, I mean, it's not that easy to get this Doom off from the anti-mage. Of course, he could have been maybe a little bit more patient there. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe he needs, like, something like a Shadow Blade on the Doom just so he can come from an angle where the anti-mage can't anticipate. Anti-mage is, of course, going for a Linken's, so it's going to be even more difficult to land that Doom soon.
Yeah, and I think the worrying part is he built this BKB, and what have we seen every fight, right? Is he BKBs, and then they just right-click him to death. They're not scared of him at all. 33.
And Anti-mage right now is sitting on an illusion.
Ooh. I don't know if that's the Rock to save the day, because in the meanwhile, 9 is gone in again. He'll turn on a Misery. That's then once again a low-health BKB, and Misery's going to die. They're able to get Chessie away, but they haven't got much of a team left to play with because Warlock's also going to be picked off trying to retreat towards base. They ain't done. Like, what's that? Diving? That sounds like an in thing right now, but they'll let Chessie go.
Yeah,
I'm
all of a
quite
sudden.
impressed.
Yeah, they're just so much on the back foot now, and I mean, personally, I'm not really a big fan of this build on Troll at all. I think this build has pretty much not really accomplished anything this game. I think the Battle Fury potentially was okay. I really don't enjoy the Satanic.
LSA was timed right this time. This is just the Congo line of feed. Do you think it's a case of like maybe Ace is getting obsessed with this idea of like needing to match the anti-mage and all the, when he gets six slotted, he's gonna get six slotted quicker, is scary instead of focusing on the present game?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, they, of course, like they took some really bad fights, right? Like they just took a fight where the Doom ends up doing himself. So you could say that, yeah, the items are okay in a sense. I just think that I feel like this gold could have been better spent
Oh boy.
on other things.
Maybe this might be the final fight. Last two dragging him in. Need to get the battle trance out in time at 9. Isn't too scared just yet. Is he able to move away? Doom does get thrown out onto the back right. The dual follow-up is good. 33 will go down. They might just turn on you now. Okay, use your BKB. That's fine. We'll just bait you in a little bit here. No battle trance even means Ace is in trouble. Laguna and a mana void to ensure he goes down for good measure. Misery next on the hit list won't last much longer. And it's crumbling again for 5 men. This game is really just reaching that done point. The goose is well and truly cooked.
Yeah, I mean, that should spell the end there for 5 men. I think they had some really good chances throughout this game. I mean, I feel like they were in control. I personally would have.
They ain't done. One last hurrah. Branya, they don't even get him though. The toss away. And there's going to be yours blink away. In the meantime, Chessie gets picked off by 9 and they can turn around to deal with the final target as we finally get that GG out of the side of 5 men.
Yeah, like I was saying, I feel like the advantage they had, they never really got to use it. I'm not sure if. Yeah, you definitely can't say that this troll build is entirely to blame, but I do think they could have made it easier for themselves by going some different items, something a little bit more aggressive, maybe an MKB on the troll or just some more damage items. Even a BKB, I think, could have been fine. I would just like to see them get more active early on and try to claim more of the map. They did try to claim quite a bit of the map, but I feel like they could have done a much better job, not being so kind of greedy with what they were doing.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird game. Like the way it opened up, it was very static. Like we said, they kind of fell back into this race between the troll and the anti-mage. And honestly, with the way that the musical laning occurred, it did feel like 5 men had a big advantage, right? Like the way these lanes started, we could very clearly see how they could maybe win. I think the big trip up point that I noticed you really held on to and felt was a big part of it was this troll warlord's choice to go the Battle Fury build.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure like the reasoning behind it. I know that Ace is a player who he likes to farm quite a bit, and I mean he did have a good timing. They did kind of at this point when they got that first Roche, I think they were in a good spot after they actually managed to get that somehow. When he had this S and Y Battle Fury, I think that's kind of the go time. I feel like that's when you wanna push your advantage, but I don't know. Chessie had some untimely deaths. I like this Axe Rush, but then he went bots into dying a few times, and maybe he needed to go for a faster BKB or a faster Yules or something to let him stay alive because he became such a target. Um, and yeah, they just couldn't capitalize. I mean, they never really got to use this Doom either, right? The Doom was so fat, but
Hey, he
I
he
mean,
he got to use Doom a few times. It's just the most crucial one was upon himself.
yeah,
Actually, I
yep,
think he
yep,
only
yep.
doomed like 2 or 3 times that game, right? One was a deny, one was on himself. No, I think those
Hmm.
were the two that I can remember. Like there wasn't. I don't think there was a moment where we felt Misery's impact, and even this BKB, like they didn't care. They just hit him. Like, I think like the more impressive thing to take away from this is mudgolems like last second pulling a different player. And usually when we see that, like, oh, is this gonna like mess with the dynamic, especially with like a fresh new team? But instead, they come in and they beat back like one of the more favorable teams, like one of the favorite teams, I'd say, going to this tournament after their recent performance at Omega League. It's only game one.
Yeah, and also with the stand-in. I mean, and also like a very nice performance by the stand-in there, the 90, even though potentially he could have been slightly more ballsy, but maybe that would have resulted in him dying earlier. And so he never actually died this game, and he did get to his items and to his timings, and he did what he was supposed to do.
But as I said, it's only game one, Pajkatt. We've got one more here for the EU region today before we wrap it up. Another game between 5 men and mudgolems. We'll help that break. Then when we return, we'll see if this is going to be a 2-0 storyline or if we can even this up and mudgolems and 5 men will get a game apiece.